It is my 6-month VSG surgery anniversary. The time has just flown by, and we have a lot to talk about today, including my weight loss progress, my scars, my loose skin, and all the questions that you guys sent in. So let's get right into it today. Welcome to my channel, Lose Weight Sara. I'm Sara, and I have been documenting my journey to lose 100 pounds on YouTube since April of 2020. Now, in August of 2022, I had a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, so I'm continuing to report on my progress. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you, and big thank you to all of my returning subscribers. I am sharing my weight loss progress, the ups and downs of weight loss, and that includes my surgical portion. And if you find that kind of information valuable, I would love it if you went ahead and hit that subscribe button and followed along with my journey, and be sure to introduce yourself in the comments below if you are new here. I want to kick this video off with my weekly weigh-in. Usually I save this for last, but it really didn't make that big of an impact this week. So last week I had weighed in at 182.2 pounds, and this week I also weighed in at 182.2 pounds. So I'm in one of those kind of weight loss slowdowns right now, which is completely normal. So anybody who's watching this who maybe is considering weight loss surgery, and this happens regardless of how you are losing weight, don't be scared to see somebody who's like not losing for a little while. There are some people who kind of stall out for weeks or sometimes months in some situations, but I am of the mindset to trust the process. There's no way for me not to lose weight, so I'm not stressing out over this kind of stall that I've been on for the last 3 weeks. I know if I keep doing the things I'm supposed to do consistently, that weight will eventually come off. And I went through this, I think around the 3-month mark. There were a couple of weeks where I either lost very, very little weight or no weight in some circumstances. So not a biggie, just not a very exciting weekly progress to come back to you with. I'm at the half-year mark since I've had VSG, and I cannot believe how fast this time has gone by. It really does blow my mind. I guess they say like time flies when you're having fun, but I thought it would be important today to get some questions from you. I know a lot of my newer subscribers are people who either just had their vertical sleeve gastrectomy or are considering weight loss surgery of some sorts. So I felt that it would be really beneficial to answer the questions that you guys had and give you my thoughts and my experience. I have lost over 60 pounds since I had weight loss surgery. My starting weight the day of surgery was 245 pounds, and I am down to 182.2 pounds today. Now we're going to get into your questions, and these were so good. You all really came through on that request, so I'm excited to answer your questions. So one of the first questions I received, and I got this from a couple people, was what was the most unexpected thing to happen post-op? I would say in the early phases, it was definitely how good I felt. I really was almost like, wait, did they do surgery on me? Because I felt so good almost immediately after. I think when I first, like the first day, I felt like I had surgery, but then once I woke up the next day, I just felt normal. It was super weird. And even like in that first 2 weeks, I actually hit my step goal every day. So that would be something I would advise, right? As long as you're physically able, is after surgery, make sure you get that walking in. It really did make a difference in my healing. As far as like over the last 6 months, the most unexpected thing post-op would be how much more physically I can do. I am just able to do a lot more. Obviously, you guys have been following along with my running journey. That's something I, months and months ago thought that I would never be able to do. So I would say that. And then just small physical things like being able to paint my own toenails. Like, kind of a weird thing, but I hadn't done it in so long because I physically wasn't able to, that little things like that become very surprising. Another great question that I got on Instagram was, what is the recovery journey like? I would say I felt like I was recovering probably for the first 6 weeks after surgery. As I mentioned on my answer to the previous question, right away I felt pretty normal, and there was that moment of like, wait, did I just have surgery or no? I would say the biggest things during recovery are really striving to get your liquids in, like make sure you're drinking water, drink broth, follow the instructions that the surgical center gives to you. There's a reason they give you those, right? Overall, if I'm recalling correctly, I think the biggest thing was I did feel tired a lot of the time. Not like, exhausted, but just like my general vibe was kind of sleepy. And that was totally logical because my body was healing from a major surgery. And I actually had two. I had the VSG and I had a hiatal hernia repair as well. So I was doing a lot internally, even though externally you couldn't necessarily see it per se. There was just so much healing. So my body was working really hard to do that. I would also say that early on, the weight loss was surprising. I think in the first couple weeks, I had lost like 20 pounds, and it just blew my mind because I had been struggling with weight loss for so long. And I think there was like a little mental shift that happened during that initial recovery phase where I like had to realize like, okay, this is happening. I'm losing weight now. Like, oh my gosh, here we go. I would also say that the first 6 weeks was when I really had to get into my routine of taking my vitamins every day, doing my best to get to the protein goals. And I don't think I really did that until around 3 weeks. And getting my water in. Fortunately, I was a good water drinker before. I just had to learn how to slow down but still get that water in. So just like sipping instead of taking big gulps. And I'll tell you, the first time you accidentally take a big gulp of water because you are used to it, it don't feel good. So just be careful. And then the last part I would say is when you make the transition from liquids to soft foods post-op, really going slow. Like, you gotta slow down, chew your food really good, and really, really pay attention to the fullness cues very early on. My good friend Ken over at the YouTube channel Fat Guy No More, who you should totally go check out. He's doing Mounjaro right now and just nailing it, killing it. He's doing great. He asked if loose skin removal surgery is something that I will consider having. Is it something that I'm planning to do? And that is actually a really good question because right now I would say I don't know. I'm gonna show you right now some of the loose skin areas that I have. So probably the most pronounced loose skin I have, which honestly surprised me, is on my arms. What do they call them? Bingo wings that kind of flap around. And that's probably where I notice the loose skin the most. I notice it like when I do something. You can actually see my muscle definition now, but the loose skin definitely at the bottom hangs down quite a bit. It's kind of crazy. The other areas that I really notice it are a little bit on my stomach. When I suck in my stomach, I notice it more. Like I can see that it's actual loose skin. The bottom part, which I usually call like my mommy apron, because I did have 2 C-sections. I've given birth to 2 children. So it's expected for me to have this. And it's kind of like this flap that hangs over. I don't think that's loose skin just yet. I think there's still some fat there. And I have a feeling, because this has always been my trouble area even before I had kids, it's probably going to take some time before the fat is lost there. The other area I really notice loose skin is in my thighs. And it's closer to my upper thigh. It was kind of tricky to show you guys on film here, but it is loose on my inner upper thigh. And right now it doesn't bother me too much. I don't really like get dressed up to go anywhere. I work from home, so most of the time I'm in sweatpants and a work shirt like with my work logo on it. So it hasn't really bothered me. I do every now and then get a rash in my belly button, and I know that is from sweating and my loose skin on my stomach hanging over. So if I were to consider any skin removal surgery, it would definitely be a tummy tuck, I guess, and having that fixed. The other thing is, it kind of depends where I'm at the moment financially. I do still have to pay off my surgery, and there's just other things that have to get taken care of. So I would kind of have to prioritize it. I guess it really all boils down to whether it ends up bothering me or not. Right now, it doesn't really bother me. Another great question that came in from a fellow YouTuber, Charla at Charla Reed Body and Soul Transformation. She asked, what has helped me shift my mindset to not use food as a coping mechanism? And the big answer to that is I physically cannot use food as a coping mechanism today. I can only eat about 4 to 5.5 ounces of food in one sitting. Just kind of depends on what I've eaten and my level of activity for the day. But physically, it is very, very, very unpleasant to overeat. So even if I overeat like my more nutritionally valuable foods, it's unpleasant. So even just thinking about like overeating a bunch of kind of junk food that I would have binged on previously, the thought of it is really unnerving. Actually, it makes me kind of like feel kind of gross in a way. So that's a big deterrent. Not wanting to get sick from overeating is a huge deterrent. And I don't think I really realized how much I was overeating. I mean, I always knew because I had the diagnosis, but I don't think I realized the volume of food, if that makes sense. And I just physically could not do it now. Now, as far as shifting mindset, I have found other ways to cope. Things like making lists of things I want to do, things like playing video games. I've been playing games more. And then absolutely my running, especially now that I'm running longer distances, it gives me a lot of time to think about things. And I try to use that time wisely because I don't like to watch the clock while I'm running. So I use that time to kind of process any thoughts, and that's been really helpful. This is a quick question. This one came in anonymously on Instagram, and it was, did you go through hair loss, or are you experiencing hair loss now? And I did for a period of time. I would say right around the 3-month mark, and it lasted until about 4.5, 5 months. My hair was coming out in chunks. Like, it was a lot. It actually scared me a little bit for a minute. I ended up switching my vitamins. I was taking a bariatric vitamin, which honestly never really made me feel very well. It kind of made me feel like how prenatal vitamins made me feel, which is not a nice feeling. So I switched to a Vitafusion women's 1-a-day multi-gummy. When I got into a couple weeks of taking that vitamin, I think that was around like the 4.5 week mark that I started doing that, I did notice the hair loss slowed down. So that was my experience with that. Nothing scientific to back that up. I do use a strengthening shampoo. It's just a drugstore brand. It's Garnier Fortifying. It smells like green apples. It's really nice shampoo, but it's just basic. It's nothing fancy. So I don't know if that helped as well, but it has slowed down significantly. I was always a shedder anyway, so it's slowed down. I still would say that I shed at like my normal rate, but the hair loss for me personally was not that significant. And as soon as I noticed it, I started paying attention to, making sure I was getting in my protein, which I had been doing. I switched the vitamins thinking maybe that was an issue, and started using that strengthening shampoo. Another question from YouTube. This was from my friend Lauren. She asked if I could go back, is there anything that I would have done differently leading up to surgery? Anything that would have made the process smoother? And honestly, I have to shout out Blossom Bariatrics right here because they made the process incredibly smooth. I did not have to go, because I was self-pay, through the typical insurance hoops that a lot of people have to go through. Things like, psychological evaluation, special diets for a very long time, getting approvals from this doctor, that doctor. I didn't have to do all that. Blossom Bariatrics does what is considered a fast track program. So once I got to Vegas, it was pretty much smooth sailing. So the process there was very easy. I could not recommend Blossom Bariatrics enough, to be completely honest with you. They were pleasant from start to finish. It was affordable for me, and the experience there was so amazing. So honestly, for me, there's not anything that I could think of that would have made that process smoother, because it just went so fast and so easy. Another Instagram question that I got was, did your surgical team give you a recommendation on how much to lose each month? Did they give you a goal? And the answer to that is yes. The expectation is that I lose about 10 pounds per month. And honestly, I'm over that. I have in 6 months lost over 60 pounds, so that's totally meeting that goal. Some months I think were slower than others, and then you have some months where a lot of weight came off. I personally do not hold myself too much to that 10 pounds a month number. I just don't see, especially at the phase I'm at right now, that being really achievable every single month. But I do strive for it. That was the expectation that was set for me. My surgeon also gave me a goal weight. The goal weight was 140 pounds, which, as you guys know, my personal goal was 174 pounds, or 174 or 175. That would be my 100 pounds lost. If I were to meet that, I would have like another 35 to 40 pounds to go to meet the surgeon's goal. Again, I didn't think that goal was possible, and I honestly was like the white guy blinking gif. If you've ever seen that, that was my reaction when he said 140 pounds. But as I've gone through the process, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that is achievable. I just can't imagine how small I would be, I think, is really the problem. And there was a little bit of fear there with that expectation. But now that I'm halfway through the first year, I feel like I'm a lot more confident. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I could totally hit that goal. I don't think I will. I don't want to say don't take it as seriously. I won't be super disappointed if I don't, but I'll be really proud if I can get close, if that makes sense. I don't want you guys to think that I'm like gonna get to my 100 pounds lost and be like, okay, I'm good, don't need to worry about it. I still want to be at a healthy weight and a happy weight for me. Okay, I've got 2 questions left, and this one I just loved so much. I thought this was such a thoughtful question, and it was, what does your family think about your weight loss progress and the fact that you had surgery? And I would say that my kids are extremely supportive. It's so funny because every now and then, we'll just be doing something, and my daughter especially will be like, God, you're just so small now. Like, there's such a huge difference in where they know me and where they see me today. And I don't think that they ever looked at me in the same way that I looked at myself, like, oh, mom's fat. Like, I don't think they ever thought that. But I think now that I've lost the weight, they kind of realize like what a big difference there is. So my kids are super supportive. They're always giving me compliments. They're very sweet. My husband too. Always super supportive. He keeps on top of me. He's like, when, if I'm going to like take one more bite of food, he's like, you sure you want to do that? Like, you don't want to get sick. And he's 9 out of 10 times right. I shouldn't take another bite. And a lot of times I don't. And I do listen to him. I'm like, nope, you're right. You're right. He calls me out on my, self-deprecating humor. He tells me like, you can't call yourself fat anymore because you're not fat. You're like 180 something pounds. Like, You gotta stop that. And I would say that our relationship has improved because I feel more confident and less self-conscious. So we've been going out together, just me and him a lot more. We spend a lot more time together. And I think, you know, me feeling more confident has made me a better wife. I don't know if he would agree. If he ends up watching this and hears me say it, he can leave a comment below. But yeah, so I would say my relationships have improved greatly, but not because of them, because of me and how I feel about myself. And, you know, there's this kind of saying like, if you want to be a good partner, if you want to be a good parent, like you do have to take care of yourself. Like how you feel about yourself impacts everything you do. And I think everybody would agree that, you know, because I feel better about myself, things are improved all around. What would you say has changed the most since surgery? And I think that question goes hand in hand with the last one, in that I am so much more confident as a person. I just am. I just don't take any crap anymore. I am more willing to try new things. I'm more willing to step out of my comfort zone. Everything is better. Everything is better. And it's not even since surgery. It's just since losing the weight in general. Like, I think whether I would have lost this, you know, with my tool or without, I think I would have felt the same way. And I feel incredible. And there's like literally nothing that can stop me now. I just feel unstoppable. And I can't wait to keep trying new things, to keep learning more about myself as I go. You know, my 40th birthday is coming up this year in June, and I feel like that's a big one for me. There's just a lot of self-discovery that I want to do, and the door is wide open because I just feel so much better about myself mentally, physically, all the ways. So before I go today, I want to show you guys, and those of you who have been subscribed for a really long time might remember this. I had made myself a weight loss rewards chart that rewarded myself with a non-food thing every 10 pounds that I lost. So I have done quite a few of these, but one thing that I got this week I wanted to share with you was I had dermatologist listed on there. And I finally went and took care of that. I want to show you just a little clip. Today is a pretty exciting day for me. For those of you who have been following along for a really long time, you'll know that I have a weight loss rewards chart. So every 10 pounds that I lost, I had a little reward for myself. Well, one of the higher up ones was getting these scars. The dermatologist actually said at my consultation that these are actually like a fleshy colored mole, but I believe that they're scars from when I was a teenager from acne that didn't heal right. So I'm getting these. I'll try to zoom in there. I have no makeup on, obviously, but I'm getting these scraped off today, and I'm very excited about it because there's something that bothers me a lot, and so I'm ready to be rid of them. So I'm about to go into the dermatologist and get that process started. So I'm all done. It was so easy. I think it took maybe 5 minutes total. She numbed the area. I'm still a little numb in my lip there. And then it looked like an X-Acto knife. She just cut them off. So I'm done. I have to keep this Band-Aid on for 24 hours. So tomorrow I'll show you guys what it looks like. So last night I had a hard time keeping the Band-Aid on, so I had to put like all this medical gauze on. But anyway, I thought I'd give you the big reveal because I have to wash my face. The bigger one is a little bit tender still, but this one looks pretty good. So when this heals, I'll have for sure a little scar, but it shouldn't be too bad. There it is. I'm happy to have these things removed. So here's what it looks like today. It looks kind of gnarly right now because it's got Vaseline on it, so it's healing. I'm actually really happy with how it's healing. I'm really excited for this to be flattened out. It doesn't look great on that video. It looks kind of gross, honestly. I saw it up close. I was like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't show this, but I just did. So anyway, that will heal flat. Those bumps were something that really, 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 really bothered me. And so now that I'm feeling so good about myself, I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's just go get it done. It was so quick and easy. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like next week. Appreciate you so much for watching this video and cheering me on along my journey. I am cheering for you too. And until next time, I will see you real soon.